What's going on, people? Welcome to 137 Works, and today we have episode 2 of Will It Drift for Forza Motorsport 7. So today's car is the 1954 Mercedes 300SL Coupe Gullwing, second car in a row with an absolute double barrel name. But it was suggested by E1 Ethan. Again, if you're still watching these videos, I do appreciate it. But as standard, it basically comes with 241 horsepower, 217 foot-pounds of torque, and it weighs 950 pounds. And it's poor. It's woeful off the line. I'm pretty sure Jeremy Clarkson coined the phrase continental drift is quicker than this car. It's very, very slow. It's fairly heavy. It's basically near as makes no difference 3,000 pounds and only 241 horsepower in an engine from the 1950s. So it's not amazing. Basically all I'm doing here is literally handbrake, power slides. That's all it is. You pull the handbrake, you slide a little bit. Honestly, as the run goes on, the car just slows down. You just lose speed. The longer the drift continues, the less speed you get, the more speed you scrub off, and eventually you just straighten out. There's also an insane amount of body roll, but not in a way where you can use it. Like some American muscle cars, you can kind of use the body roll as a way of kind of swinging it from left to right and side to side. Not in this car. It's just it's just poor. But overall, yeah, for the first kind of, you can see here, I literally just have to drive to the next corner. But yeah, overall, it's poor starts. It feels like it's going to take a lot to make it be able to drift properly. And that's where we get into the medium build, where we kind of try and see what it'll take. So you'll notice there, I don't actually change the appearance other than lowering it. I think the SL, the Gullwing, is just one of those classic looking cars. You should mess with the appearance. I made the wheels chrome, that's basically it. But yeah, it's got 305 horsepower, 255 foot-pounds of torque, and now it weighs 1,485 pounds. So 1,485. The mods that I did with it were just sport cams, the race turbo conversion, and then added the race turbo, and then just all the platform and handling to race. And it gets off the line a lot quicker, but it's still super slow. Adding in the turbo lag doesn't help at all. Kind of 4.5k revs, it bogs, and then it kind of starts to take off. But it was pleasantly surprising, honestly. The body roll is seriously reduced. It's not obviously completely gone, but you can see here in the clips, I'm actually managing to pull it off. There's enough power that you can find a nice kind of happy balance, just full throttle, foot down in second gear. As ever, third gear is just too long. It just doesn't work in these kind of beginner or middle stages usually. It usually requires a decent tune and a decent final drive and gear ratio kind of adjustment to get that. But not too much. It's not dreadful. It was a big improvement. One of the biggest improvements that I've seen in a Will It Drift car between the beginning stage, the stock stage, and the middle stage. It's still just very, very slow. You can see here, I'm maxing out at maybe 55, 56 miles an hour drift. But it's amazing just how much of a difference just a couple of upgrades have made between the stock and the medium. But for the full build, again, looks the exact same. You can see it's got 451 horsepower, 378 foot-pounds of torque, and 2,467 pounds. So about 2,500 pounds. Still relatively heavy. But it's got a full build and tune, which will be on my storefront or whatever they call it nowadays in Forza 7 for you to download and try it out. It'll be called, I think it's Will It Drift, all one word, EP2. So Will It Drift EP2, all one word. And it'll be obviously PDR-ish on the store. But basically, yeah, it gets off the line a good bit quicker. Off the 50 roll, it's actually pretty decent. It gets going. The problem is, it's not fun. There's something about it. It just doesn't hold angle and speed all that well. You have to drive very shallow angle-wise. Fourth gear just isn't going to be an option. But it just isn't fun to drive, which is disappointing. It feels fine as far as the stiffness and the body roll that I mentioned in the early stages. That's pretty much gone. It transitions decently, that kind of awkward transition when you do the kind of FMDL style run for Silverstone. It actually handles that pretty well, but you can still feel that the horsepower to weight ratio is still way off. Even though it's only 2,500 pounds basically, and 450 horsepower, sounds like it should be better than it is. It just isn't. Overall, I was just kind of disappointed. I hadn't got high hopes after the standard build, but I thought it'd be better than it was basically than it turned out to be. But the question that we're all here for: will it drift? Maybe. So yeah, maybe. I feel like with a lot of work and a very talented driver, you could use this as a fairly high level car. For just the average going into public lobbies and keeping up with people in kind of Skylines and Supers, which I will explain to people that don't know what Will It Drift is about. I did have a comment on the episode 1 being of course it'll drift, it's Forza. But yeah, basically just for my criteria, maybe. I personally wouldn't use it. I wouldn't bother going out in public lobbies with this car. But I could see why, if you were a very good tuner and you were a very good driver, why you couldn't manage to pull it off with a lot more work than I put in, with the limitations that I put on myself for Will It Drift. So that's about it. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.